street flooding likely. The combination of all that melting snow we're going to get and the heavy rain will combine to bring that possibility of some flooding. 1 to 3 inches basically to the south of Boston, north of the Pike in Boston, 3 to 6. You get up into New Hampshire, 6 to 12 inches likely. So a storm is on the way. We'll have much more on this storm coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Ken, thank you. We'll continue to get updates on this winter storm. You can watch WBZ News beginning at 5 o'clock in the morning. You can also track the snow on our website, WBZ-TV.com. Then you click on weather.
Well, tonight a woman is in the hospital and police are looking for the man who tried to strangle her. He attacked her at a cultural center in Newton. Beth Germano is there tonight. Beth, it sounds like he walked in and attacked a total stranger.
Well, Lisa, it is a disturbing story. An assault taking place in broad daylight here at the Greater Boston Chinese Cultural Association. And ironically, it is located just across the street from the Newton Police Station. Now, police just released this composite sketch of a male who came here at 3 o'clock today asking for a female employee who no longer works here. He showed identification that got him into the library, saying he wanted to look at some books. Police say he encountered another female and suddenly strangled her until she became unconscious. He fled and the woman was rushed to the hospital. Police did offer some reassurance to the community.
I don't think the community needs to fear other than the individual himself appears to be a dangerous individual, and he may be anywhere at this point.
Now, police believe the victim will be okay. They do not believe the suspect knew her, but came here looking for someone else. Why, they don't know, but he's on the loose tonight. Reporting live from Newton, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News.
All right, Beth, thank you. And again, it looks like the woman who was attacked is going to be all right, but we're told she will spend tonight in the hospital just to be sure.
People who have become addicted to using a Blackberry got a very bad surprise today. Just about every user in North America lost email and internet service for a few hours late this afternoon. Not the end of the world, but for a big headache for people who organize their lives around this little gadget. We asked Jonathan Elias to check into this. So, Jonathan, what happened?
Jack, I'm sure we've got everybody's attention, especially the Blackberry users out there. It turns out, no matter who you get your Blackberry service from, all of the email and internet access goes through just one company, Research in Motion, the Canadian company that makes the Blackberry. So when they have a problem, everybody has a problem.
The Blackberry just went completely out. I couldn't get any emails. I thought it was just mine.
Adam Lazarus had lots of company. Almost every Blackberry user was thrown into the dark this afternoon for a couple of hours. A spokesman for Verizon Wireless blamed it on the Canadian company that makes the phones, saying their email server went down. Whatever the cause, the effect was clear.
What do? You know, you just sit there and all of a sudden you shut down. You shut down. Your Blackberry shut down. You shut down.
His phone links him to the world and all of his clients. Getting cut off costs him both time and money.
Did you think about jumping out of a building?
Pretty much, yeah.
Bill Pappas can laugh now, but the outage this afternoon sent him racing for a way to communicate with his clients.
Not having it is kind of, you don't have it, what do you do? But again, because I was at my desk, once I realized it was dead, I was already been synced back to my PC. So you go back to the PC and you go old school.
He wouldn't have far to jump. He's on the first story. There are 12 million Blackberry subscribers worldwide. No one knows exactly how many of them had service interrupted, but it is safe to say that if you had a bad day, you had lots of company today. Jack?
Sounds like it, Jonathan. By the way, this same thing happened last April, but that time it was a lot worse. Users lost service on a Tuesday. They didn't get it back until Wednesday morning. This time, the longest reported service interruption was about 5 hours.
Tonight, a tanker full of liquefied natural gas is adrift off Cape Cod. Now, it's drifting away from land at this point, about 35 miles east of Chatham. It was on its way to Boston early this morning when its engine cut out. The Coast Guard says there's no immediate danger, and there are tugboats that should arrive in the next half hour to decide what to do next.
Tonight, we have a follow-up to our I-Team investigation on tax cheats costing the state billions of dollars. The governor wants to go after them. In his new budget, he calls for suspending driver's licenses of people who don't pay their taxes. Just last week, I-Team reporter Joe Bergantino reported that tax delinquents, including some of the state's wealthiest people, owe Massachusetts more than $2 billion. Logan Airport tightening security by taking a closer look at the people who work at Logan. Starting in May, all workers will be screened, and some will have their fingerprints and irises scanned electronically. Logan is one of 7 U.S. airports taking part in a federal test program intended to weed out potential terrorists. Tonight, we're finding out people trying to make their homes a little more festive could be making them a lot more dangerous.
And here's an example. The state fire marshal is telling us Christmas decorations were a factor in this house fire in Marlboro. Christmas decorations in the middle of February. Christina Hager is in Marlboro tonight. Christina, this isn't as unusual as we might think.
Well, it has fire officials warning not only about Christmas trees. Apparently there was a lit tree that fueled a fire in this home last week. Now they're also warning about outdoor lights like this. Think about it. By now they have gone through, they've been covered with snow and ice. They've frozen, thawed, frozen again. They've taken a lot of abuse. There's a time for decking the halls, and while February seems to be the time at some homes, the state fire marshal says lights out.
Unplug the outdoor lighting.
We found a brightly lit home in Marlboro where 'tis the season 365 days a year.
It's a pain to take them down in the middle of winter. I suppose you could take them down in the summertime, but then we just have to keep putting them up, take them down, put them up, take them down.
Taking them down, say fire officials, would be the best idea. They're concerned about displays like this still up all over New England.
With the winter that we have had, the very cold, a lot of snow, those extension cords, the electrical wiring itself can become brittle.
How long have these been up here?
These ones have probably been up here for probably 3 years.
It's designed to be used for the holiday season, not for year-round use.
If that warning doesn't squash what's left of your holiday cheer, maybe the social pressure will.
I think they should come down around New Year's.
I'm thinking about spring right now.
So you see this copper wire. This is what is inside a string of Christmas lights. This is the kind of fraying that can occur when your Christmas lights are left out in the elements for too long. The fire marshal says when you go to string up your lights next year, if you see something like this, that's a red flag to throw these lights away and get new ones. Lisa.
All right, Christina, good advice. Thank you. Holiday decorations, by the way, can be a hazard at any time of year. The National Fire Protection Association says Christmas trees start fires in about 200 homes every year.
Imagine being a soldier on your way home from Iraq and getting stranded while you're still about 3,000 miles short. Well, it happened to a plane load of Marines heading for California who got stranded in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. But the town stepped up big time to soften the blow.
Been awesome.
High winds and mechanical problems forced more than 300 Marines to land in Portsmouth. Local veterans groups and area businesses teamed up to feed the Marines and make them feel welcome, a way of saying thank you for what they've done for our country.
It's comforting to know that you're back here with people like this, like that go out of their way to do stuff for us like this, because we weren't planning on having food and water. All we knew is we're delayed.
Well, the Marines are supposed to take off for Camp Pendleton, California sometime early in the morning. Tomorrow, the Hollywood writers' strike should be officially over.
All right, so tonight you may be wondering when you'll be able to see new episodes of your favorite shows. Well, here's a rule of thumb. For a typical sitcom, say 2.5 Men, it takes about 4 weeks to generate a new episode from scratch. For a drama like CSI, it's 6 to 8 weeks. Industry executives say that gives them enough time to crank out maybe 4 to 7 new episodes by the end of May. But keep in mind, every show is different. Some take longer, and unfortunately, some may not come back at all.
So here's hoping your favorite is one that comes back fairly quickly.
Fingers crossed. All right, this is truly a race, and right now Barack Obama is ahead of Hillary Clinton.
What chance does he stand in a general election, though? Well, our John Keller is working that story. John?
Hey, it comes with being the front runner, Jack. The questions about your electability. My take on how Obama stacks up.
All right, it's a nice quiet night here in Boston. The temperature's in the upper teens to near 20. It's going to stay mostly clear this night. However, looking at the radar and the satellite picture, we have a storm on the way. 6 inches already in Kentucky, and it's headed toward us. I'll have the latest in just a few minutes.
It's the world's most widely prescribed drug.
I trust my heart to Lipitor.
But what's happening to some people who use it?
It ruined my life. I couldn't lift my legs. I couldn't dress myself. I'm not the same person.
Their doctors never told them about Lipitor's side effects.
She said, I have never heard of such a thing.
How could they not know? Coming up next on WBZ.
Our dad, Bernie, talked the Sealy factory into making a special Posturepedic just for us. This is a quality Sealy Posturepedic. It's only in queen size and should sell for hundreds more. For a limited time only, you can buy this queen set for just $388. It's incredible. It's queen size, it's Sealy Posturepedic, and it's just $388. And it's only for a limited time at Bernie and Phil's.
Quality, comfort, and price. That's nice.
What's your ticket to a free LCD HD TV? Sign up for Verizon Fios TV, internet, and phone, and for a limited time, you get a free high-def TV. But hurry, there are only a few days left. Call 1-888-257-2584. And for only $109.99 a month, you'll get the best TV picture, period. The fastest internet, and unlimited calling. And check out the great movie hits on HBO and Cinemax. So get your TV, computer, and home phone to perform their best. Give them Verizon and get a free high-def TV. Verizon, it's the network.
It's the one event. It's the one deal you can't miss. For the first time ever, your New England Ford dealer will make your first 3 payments. That's right. We're celebrating President's Day all month long by making your first 3 payments when you buy or lease a Ford Focus, Fusion, Edge, Escape, or F-150 for a total savings of up to $3,500. 3 months of savings, one time to deal. Hurry, get the best deal of the year. Only during the President's Day celebration. Only from your New England Ford dealer.
Well, tomorrow, voters go to the polls in the so-called Potomac primaries.
Voters will cast ballots in Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia in the Democratic and Republican races for president. The Democrats have a new front-runner in the race for president. Barack Obama now has more elected delegates than Hillary Clinton.
But as John Keller explains in tonight's Keller at Large, that success comes with a tough question. Can Obama win in November? Can he?
Well, that's a question every frontrunner has to deal with, Lisa and Jack. And with the Republicans all but assured of nominating John McCain, it brings Obama's pros and cons even more sharply into focus.
I mean, we have to start imagining right now what it will take for our nominee to go toe-to-toe with John McCain.
There's a good reason why Clinton wants to raise that question now that Obama has pulled ahead. Some of the answers may well amplify doubts voters already have about Obama's readiness for the presidency. For starters, there's the obvious contrast in experience between the 46-year-old Obama with no military service and only 4 years in the Senate, and the 71-year-old McCain, a decorated war hero with 25 years of service in Congress. And in foreign affairs, McCain's support for the surge in Iraq helped propel him to his party's nomination, while Obama has staked out more dovish foreign policy turf than Clinton. Might that hurt him in November? Plus, the respected national journal's annual rankings named Obama the Senate's most liberal member based on key votes. That same designation haunted John Kerry back in 2004. For the record, Clinton finished 16th.
The era of Scooter Libby justice and Brownian competence and Karl Rove politics will finally be over next year.
But the flip side of Obama's inexperience is his freshness. That could be a huge plus, just what strife-weary voters are looking for after 16 years of Bush, Clinton, and Bush. And less time spent in Washington than McCain may well be a deal maker for an electorate that's giving Congress record-low approval ratings these days. So, is Obama electable? Well, one thing you learn from watching winners come out of nowhere over the years, no matter how it looks on paper, anyone's electable if enough voters decide they are. So I guess that's a long-winded way of saying, yes, of course he's electable if the voters decide, and so far so good for Barack Obama.
But we've got a long way to go.
Oh, do we ever?
All right. Thank you, John.
Starting in May, you're going to have to dig a little deeper to mail a letter. As of May the 12th, the cost of a first-class stamp will be up a penny to 42 cents. Although if you have those forever stamps, you'll be able to use them even after the increase. By the way, the last time postage rates went up, last May.
Well, these are the most widely prescribed drugs in the world.
Millions of people take statins to help lower the artery-clogging cholesterol that can lead to heart disease. But as David Wade reports, your doctor may be missing a dark side to these drugs.
It ruined my life. Every day for the last 4.5 years, I've been in pain.
I didn't know my wife, and I didn't know my new home.
Standing for just a few seconds is so painful, Susan Grayson Johnson of Sudbury has to sit down to make something to eat. Maureen Weber had to quit her job. She has to write everything down in a journal or else she'll forget right away. And former NASA astronaut Dwayne Gravelin has had 2 bouts of temporary amnesia. 3 patients, 3 different problems, but one thing is the same. They all took the same cholesterol-lowering drug.
Lipitor.
Lipitor. Watch television for a little while and you'll probably see a commercial for it.
Tell your doctor if you're taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness.
Like everyone else, I had heard about it on television.
And 2 weeks after Susan started taking Lipitor, she started having muscle problems.
I couldn't put my socks on. I couldn't lift my legs to get into bed. I couldn't dress myself.
Remembering the TV ad, she immediately suspected it was the Lipitor and called her doctor.
I contacted her numerous times and I went to see her, and she said, I've never heard of any such thing.
Maureen and Dwayne had similar experiences. Even Dwayne's doctors at NASA dismissed the possibility.
He said, no, statin drugs don't do this.
But Lipitor and other statins can cause these rare but serious side effects. They're even listed on the package insert. The problem is most people tolerate them so well that some doctors are missing the signs.
The word impossible is used quite frequently. These drugs have no side effects.
Dr. Beatrice Galam of the University of California at San Diego recently completed a study on statin side effects.
For each of the top 3 most common symptoms, according to patients at least, the physician denied the possibility that there could be a connection.
Dr. Adolf Hutter, a leading cardiologist at Mass General, says statins like Lipitor are safe for the vast majority of people. He feels so strongly about the drugs, he actually believes everyone with coronary artery disease should be on one.
There's absolutely no question that these drugs save many, many lives.
In a statement, Pfizer, the company that makes Lipitor, told us it's one of the most widely studied drugs. They went on to say the appropriate management of patient side effects from any drug is the responsibility of the prescribing physician. Susan, Maureen, and Dwayne all took themselves off the drug against the advice of their doctors. Susan filed a complaint against her doctor with the Massachusetts Board of Medicine. No disciplinary action was taken, but the complaint remains on the doctor's permanent record.
Lipitor has had a devastating effect on my life.
A high price to pay for a dose of preventative medicine. David Wade, WBZ News.
Again, we want to stress that Lipitor is one of the most widely studied drugs ever. It is safe for most people. We put together some resources. For more information on this issue, log on to WBZ-TV, then click on Health. Well, we heard there's a storm coming, and let's give you a little sneak preview. A winter storm advisory is in effect over much of the state of Iowa.
Oh, this just looks like winter. The National Weather Service says Cedar Rapids could get 5 inches of snow overnight. Driving is dangerous, visibility is down, and this is the very same system, Ken, that is heading our way?
Yes, the bullseye is New England now.
Okay.
Yes, 6 inches in Kentucky of all places. And when it snows in Kentucky, you know it's going to snow here, and eventually it will. With temperatures now plummeting, we're already down to 20 degrees here with wind chills even colder than that. The dry, cold air is in fact in place for snow and sleet and ice. Then the warm surge comes up from the south and it all changes to heavy rain on Wednesday afternoon. But before that happens, we've got a whole bunch of different junk headed our way. 20 now here, it's 18 at Norwood, 17 at Beverly, down to 21 down at Nantucket, and Hyannis is 19. You factor in the wind just like all day long today. It feels like 7 in the Boston area, 1 below 0 in Worcester, and gradually as the temperature drops, so will the wind chill. Even though the winds are down substantially from what they were earlier, you don't need much of a breeze at all as temperatures drop into the teens to make it feel like 0. And that's exactly what's going to happen overnight tonight. The big wind machine now, a huge area of low pressure over the Canadian Maritimes, continues to pump in the wind out of the northwest. And here is the storm, still snowing in Kentucky. And this pink band you see here, that's the ice. There's Iowa getting some snow from the same storm. This is the one that's going to move straight to the east and then northeast, spreading a shield of snow, sleet, and rain. So the start time after 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. It goes all the way to Wednesday afternoon. Look for snow to ice to rain. The toughest commute, the worst commute will be Wednesday morning with the slush on the ground, and local flooding is possible as everything changes over to just plain rain over the southeast. Northwest, just north of Boston, Middlesex, Essex counties, all the way down into Worcester County, straight north into southern New Hampshire. There's a winter storm watch in effect for tomorrow night and during the day on Wednesday, because these places will get the most snow. And once again, we're expecting 1 to 3 for most of southeastern Massachusetts and northern Rhode Island, 3 to 6 though in even some of the northern suburbs of Boston. Then you get into New Hampshire, 6+ expected there. But the good news clears out on Valentine's Day. How's that? 30 degrees tomorrow. Tomorrow night is when the snow begins. Becomes heavy at times until about 4 or 5 in the morning Wednesday. Then just in time for the morning commute, it changes to ice and sleet and gradually over to heavy rain by around noon here in the Boston area Wednesday. There's another one.
You'll be getting flowers for that
Well,
beautiful forecast
at least the sun
on
will be out.
Thursday. Yes, thank you, Ken.
All right, Ken, we'll have to brace ourselves. Meanwhile, bragging rights are on the line tonight in a Boston tradition.
It's overtime in the finals of the Beanpot, and Bob has got some great highlights from the Garden coming up next.
Right now, your neighborhood is being judged, rated on a scale of 1 to 10, and that number determines how much you pay in home insurance.
When your neighbor could be paying $400, $500, $600 more or less than you, it makes a difference.
Find out your neighborhood's rating and what it's costing you. Wednesday at 11 on WBZ.
The shortest distance between fresh and your table is us. Ocean, orchard, field, and kitchen. Direct to Hannaford supermarkets for the love of food.
I believe that there are still mysteries in the world, and wonders, and surprises.
I believe that fun is a renewable resource.
That some things you'll never be able to download.
I believe that when we celebrate life
and creatures big and small,
we discover connections
that stay with us forever.
Discover a place where worlds connect. SeaWorld.
At Infiniti, the art of hospitality is anticipating what people want. Introducing the all-new Infiniti EX, designed to elevate luxury in ways you could never imagine. Ordinary is getting inside a car. Extraordinary is never wanting to leave it. The all-new Infiniti EX, the personal luxury crossover.
Why do New England developers choose IBEW Local 103?
For the past decade, Legal Seafoods has counted on Local 103 and TNT Electrical to fast-track our projects. Their trained and highly skilled workforce keeps us on time and on budget. We rely on Local 103 and TNT Electrical for the highest quality craftsmanship.
TNT Electrical is proud to partner with Legal Seafoods and Local 103.
For your next project, visit the 103advantage.com.